Thanks, Chris. This week we are getting you ready for the upcoming winter season. So if you're planning to get a Christmas tree this year, the weather has played a big role in your selection.
Not to mention the price. Meteorologist Diane Phillips explains.
Next week, when the Christmas Tree Farm is open and you're watching the forecast to pick out a time to cut down the tree, it's the forecast in the past that really matters to shape our holiday trees.
Christmas trees like to be in the sun, but you also got to give them water.
Duke Wheeler from Whitehouse Christmas Tree Farm has been in the tree business for decades and has seen the bad and the good.
This year, we planted 5,600 trees, and normally we lose 10 to 15% because of hot weather. I've only seen maybe 7 to 10 dead seedlings, which is phenomenal.
However, the weather is not always perfect.
Because the weather is changing, this year we had an engineer come out and design an irrigation system for our trees. Not so much for the trees that are established, but for the seedlings, because next year we may not have the rain, and then those seedlings will die. And
though winter is the time for trees, Wheeler says the longer growing seasons have been great.
A lot more time to clean up the farm, so it's great for us, and as long as we have the rain and the sun, we appreciate it.
Which one do you like?
Even trees grown along the Carolina coast take advantage of the longer growing seasons before riding a truck to Northwest Ohio.
They have a longer growing season, which leads to faster growth of the Christmas trees. And then their winters being wetter also can sometimes lead to overgrowth on the trees as well.
Zach Edwards with Black Diamond works with suppliers to bring in pre-cut Fraser firs, but that does not mean there are not challenges.
I think you'll see that supply is fairly tight. Historically, there's probably not as many Christmas tree farms as there have been, and demand is also up like a lot of other products, so that does lead to challenges.
During the housing crisis of 2008, trees were at a surplus, but as the supply chain has started to correct itself, there are now fewer tree farmers a decade later.
To where not as many farms don't want to have as much of a surplus as of an inventory just in case something like that were to ever happen again, where they're trying to get rid of an excessive amount of trees. They try to have a nice average number, that way they can sell what they anticipate. And you're starting to see trees come in and be a little bit more expensive, be a little bit undersized.
Today's demand on real trees surges from younger generations.
We're starting to see, the millennial generation is not into artificial trees, maybe as much as previous generations. So they see fresh cut trees as being the more sustainable alternative, because at least trees are getting planted every time they're being cut down.
So what can you expect to pay this year for your tree?
We're actually hoping not to raise our prices from last year. So year over year, the price is hopefully going to stay flat, but we did see a significant increase last year in a Fraser fir.
They may be up a little bit more, but not significantly.
Supply and labor are tagging this year's tree prices as weather drives the prices over a longer period of time.
Wetter weather, in a 3 to 5 year period, if it created that much of a surplus and overgrowth, you could see it affect the price.
Both Wheeler and Edwards say the trees will be ready to go around Thanksgiving and urges consumers to shop early for the perfect tree. Reporting in Whitehouse, meteorologist Diane Phillips, WTOL 11.